up? I'm here in Athens, Greece, here on top of the Acropolis at the moment, right here in front of the, what I believe is the Parthenon. How do you pronounce it in Greek? I don't know, like Parthenos or Partheninos or something like that. Anyway, here today to talk about my time in Greece. So I basically spent most of my time in Santorini, really cool island. Super touristy, man. Oh yeah, highly recommend not even touching that place. It's not only is it supremely touristy, but the sunsets are nice, but man, like from the stories I heard, you have to like elbow people to get into the front to get like a good shot, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm so over it. Just for me, I didn't even go for the sunset. I just came in like the like couple alleyways, and just that was just getting. I got bumped at least 5-6 times. I'm like dodging people, like trying to move further faster, and obviously there's a lot of old people here, man. And I get it. When you have money, it's like, okay, well now we'll do it. But it's like, well, your body is totally deteriorated, and you're really making everything slow for everyone else. But cool to have like a fast lane and a slow lane, like clearly marked in like tour sites like this in the Acropolis, or just throughout Santorini or something like that, just for walking paths. Because some of them are so narrow, it's really unfair. That's something that I'm tired of just in Europe. But yeah, in Greece, there's a lot of tiny walking paths. Yeah, things like that. What else? Santorini. You can't flush the toilet paper down the toilets in Athens or Santorini, from what I've been told by the hotel staff, where I'm here in Athens and also in Santorini, which is kind of a bummer. You'd think 2018, you'd think we'd have enough infrastructure to have toilets that can handle the one-ply toilet paper that they give us. And another one, yeah, another infrastructure point doc is like, okay, well, you got millions of tourists, I assume it's millions of tourists a year, a lot of tourists a year in Santorini, and you don't have the money in the main city to make a bus station. That's like, it's a chaos at the bus station. There are no signs really. There's just kind of some signs on some buses, and there's numbers. I just go up to the lady and be like, hey, I need to go to this place, and then you ask her, and then she tells you, just like, well, then go to that bus at this time, which is like usually 5-10 minutes, which is pretty good. The buses are air conditioned, and they are nice, and they have space, cargo space. They're big, so that's also good. Another pro there. I'm glad. Thank God. I was expecting a rickety old bus on an island, but that was good. But the infrastructure in the station and the marking was not up to par, in my opinion, which I found pretty frustrating. Because the drivers get kind of mad at you for asking, but it's like, there's no way for me to know, man. I just need to make sure that this is the bus that goes to where I need to go. So if there was more signs and it was more clear, and there was clear marked walking paths, it's funny. It's like, you're telling me you don't have enough money in Santorini to get like paint, like for like walking paths, or like nobody's conceived of a way to, come on, man. You know, I think they're going through a bit of a crisis right now, economically, and if, you know, my opinion, it's like stuff like that, man. It's like, you don't need money to come up with good ideas to economize your time, space, and how you move people. Now, if this happened very fast, which I think it did in the last 5 to 10 years, which I guess is really fast for, I'm assuming is fast for like a booming tourist thing, especially with all the pictures of Santorini all over the internet, so that's probably why. Athens is it's basically San Francisco. There's lots of hills, and not a lot of trans people, and I haven't seen a lot of like same-sex people holding hands, so I assume there's not too many gay people, not on the level of San Francisco. So it's San Francisco-y, but not quite. There's also no water, I don't think. No, I don't think so. I don't think there's any water around here. I didn't have time to plan a lot for this, so this was just kind of like run in 2 days, Acropolis, let's go. Yeah, the ruins are cool though, I will say. But there's lots of people, like where I'm staying, beautiful place, I love it, reasonable price, breakfast is good, yes. But then there's like, I came out of my hostel last night and there was a woman doing crack, and then I tried to take a picture on steps of another place, and another woman, I think she was saying, like, I'm gonna do drugs, get out of here, in Greek, but I don't know. That pissed me off. I'm getting really tired of being moved. Like, another woman just told me to get off of like a bench, like a rock that was like a foot off the ground. Like, oh, you got to get off of that. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me, man? Like, it just sucks because it's basically because other people were dumb and incompetent that I am not allowed to do that. And the tour whistles, try to gathering the tours, man. I'm pretty much over the whole travel thing. Definitely by myself for sure. But yeah, so overall though, Greece is pretty cool. Reasonable price. You can get a full stomach for like €2 to €5 pretty easily. Public transit is pretty old and rickety. Man, I'm pretty much ragging on Greece and Athens right now. But like, could I live here? Yeah, totally. I mean, I worked in San Francisco and it was pretty crazy. if I live there or if I work there, I can probably live here. Also, everyone speaks English, which is pretty nice. I mean, not like perfectly, but like you definitely get a varied range, and everybody can figure you out. Whereas like if you're in China, like the middle of China, it's like nope. Or even some places in Thailand, it's like nope. Even India, some places they say, oh, they speak English in India. No, they don't. They know some words, some of them do, and it's not all. But yeah, overall, this was like €20, I think, to come into the Acropolis, so that's something to note. And yeah, there's a lot of tourists. It's like almost doesn't matter how early you go. There's like a smudge on my camera. But yeah, so that's my Greek trip. It's been like 2 days. The hostel is really nice, though. I do appreciate that. Yeah, heading off to Istanbul tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. And yeah, with that said, I think that's pretty much it I wanted to say about Greece. Yeah, again, everything's cheaper here, so that makes everything else, like, offsets everything. It's like, oh, okay, well. But if you're wondering, like, oh, why, I'm thinking to myself, like, why are they in a crisis? It's like, well, I think it's their inability to economize time and space, especially of people. You know, I think they do take siestas, I think, here as well, so I don't know if that's like, oh, you're bragging on people who take siestas. It's like, no, dude, it's, yeah, I've heard some things, too, about how, like, Spanish and Italians and how Greek, like, construction workers work, and it's slow and not super efficient. I think the emphasis, especially in a place like this where the weather's like pretty good, I think all year pretty much, is enjoy life. And I think that does get in the way of productivity, frankly. So there's that. And also, like, I'm not a huge fan of the way that Greek men in particular try to sell you stuff. They're like, oh, come on, come to my store, come to my... Dude, I'm not coming to your store. They're very pushy. Maybe just because we're tourists and they know they can get away with it, I guess. They know they can be, I guess, rude, and for the people that works for, they just keep doing that, and the people that doesn't matter because you're never going to see them again. But I just find it so rude. They're very, like, pushy, and even, like, when they're trying to help you, oh, no, take this to go, like, because I'm probably going to take this food and walk, and they're like, oh, let me put it in another bag. I'm like, dude, you're wasting my time and your time because you feel like you have to help me, even though I said, please don't. You did it anyway. So I can't rag on him for helping me, but I can for, like, forcing me to take his help. And it's in that case. But, like, I can see how that could trickle down into, like, the main populace, and, like, how you would have, like, a economy that's struggling. It just makes sense to me. I think someone else I was talking to said that, like, Greeks are the reason that Greeks are not in good shape. And I don't know. I also heard some stories about like there's like a mafia or something that intentionally may or may not be canceling ferries due to weather arbitrarily, so that people buy flights, so that people are delayed and people stay in a place more, like Santorini, for example. I don't know if that's true. I can't say that it is or isn't, but that wouldn't surprise me at all. But yeah, overall, I love the history of Greece. I love Greek history. I love Greek mythology. Coming to the, like, you know, it's cool. The Parthenon, I think that's what this is. I hope that's what this is. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. It's also a little overwhelming because I definitely, in my brain, maybe it's a dream to the way that portrayed. It's like more complete, and maybe that's, you know, it's a little underwhelming just because it's basically a pile of rocks with a few columns. But I'm really getting tired of the tourists. But overall, I like Greece. I do think I could live here conceivably. I haven't been to everywhere in Greece, just Athens and Santorini, which are unfortunately going to be tourist places, especially where I'm right now. But the Greek people are cool for the most part, pretty helpful. I haven't had a problem. The parkour community out here is pretty cool. I met some of them in Santorini. Not a lot of time to train, but yeah, overall, I like this place. A lot of not great things and a lot of good things as well. But yeah, that said, I'm going to peace out of here, and I'll see you guys next time.